Good evening. Tonight, we're traveling back, not hundreds of years, but tens of thousands of years. Long before cities, long before farms, long before roads, schools, or even written words. Our story begins with one ordinary cave family living peacefully near a wide green valley during the Ice Age. Now, before you imagine danger around every corner, giant monsters chasing everyone, or constant battle for survival, let's slow down, because the truth is surprisingly ordinary. Most days were not exciting adventures. They were filled with simple routines. Finding food, keeping warm, taking care of children, repairing tools, and enjoying quiet moments around a glowing fire. So, if you're feeling comfortable, perhaps adjust your blanket, take a slow, relaxing breath, and let's quietly step into another world. The first light of morning begins to spread across the valley. Golden sunlight slowly climbs over distant mountains, gently touching the tops of ancient pine trees. Tiny birds begin singing cheerful songs that echo softly through the peaceful forest. Outside the cave, the grass sparkles with cool morning dew. A family of rabbits quietly hops between wildflowers. Far away, a herd of deer slowly grazes in the open meadow. Nothing feels rushed. Nothing feels dangerous. The world is simply waking up. Inside the cave, the warm campfire still glows gently from the night before. Soft orange light dances across the stone walls, where simple paintings of deer, horses, and handprints tell stories from generations long ago. The cave feels cozy, dry, safe. Animal skin blankets cover the sleeping places. Bundles of firewood rest neatly against one wall. Stone tools are carefully arranged beside woven baskets. Everything has its place. Near the fire sleeps our cave family. The father, with his thick brown beard and kind eyes, is still wrapped in a soft fur blanket. Beside him, the mother sleeps peacefully while their two children dream quietly nearby. Curled up beside the youngest child is a friendly little wolf pup, rescued many months ago after becoming separated from its pack. Its ears twitch as it dreams. Perhaps it is chasing rabbits through the valley. Or perhaps it simply smells breakfast. The fire crackles softly. Outside, another beautiful day quietly begins. And like countless mornings before it, life moves at its own gentle pace. As the first golden rays of sunlight creep across the cave floor, one member of the family begins to stir. It is the father. Slowly, he opens his eyes, not because of an alarm clock, not because of a busy schedule, but because the forest itself is waking around him. For a few quiet moments, he simply lies still beneath his warm animal fur blanket. He listens. The cheerful songs of birds echo outside the cave. A gentle breeze whispers through the pine trees. Somewhere in the distance, a woodpecker taps rhythmically against an old tree trunk. Closer still, the soft crackling of last night's fire fills the cave with a familiar sense of comfort. The fire is still alive, not blazing, not roaring, just quietly glowing beneath a blanket of warm gray ash. Keeping a fire alive is one of the most important jobs in the cave. Starting a new fire from scratch takes patience and skill. It is far easier to protect yesterday's fire than to create another one today. The father carefully sits up. He stretches his arms toward the cave ceiling. His shoulders feel slightly stiff after sleeping on soft animal skin spread across the stone floor. Nearby, the little wolf pup notices the movement. One sleepy eye opens. Its tail gives a slow wag. Then it lets out the tiniest yawn imaginable before curling into a tighter little ball. Apparently, it has decided that sleeping is still the better option. The father smiles quietly. He reaches toward the fire and gently moves a few glowing embers together using a long wooden stick. Tiny orange sparks dance upward, then disappear into the cool morning air. From a pile stacked neatly against the cave wall, he selects two small pieces of dry wood collected several days earlier. He places them carefully onto the glowing coals. For a few seconds, nothing happens. Then, a tiny curl of smoke rises. A faint orange flame appears. Slowly, patiently, the fire wakes up just as a family does. Warmth begins spreading through the cave once again. The stone walls glow softly in shades of orange and gold. The cave paintings seem almost alive in the flickering light. Nearby, woven baskets filled with dried berries, and nuts wait quietly for breakfast. Stone spear points rest neatly beside the entrance. Nothing is out of place. Everything has been carefully prepared. Outside, the valley grows brighter with every passing minute. A family of deer walks peacefully across the meadow. Two rabbits chase each other through patches of wildflowers. High above, several birds circle lazily in the clear blue sky. There is no rush, no loud noise, only another calm morning, beginning exactly as yesterday ended. The father quietly enjoys these peaceful moments before anyone else awakens. For him, this may be the calmest part of the entire day. As the fire burns a little brighter, the cave slowly begins to wake. The older child is the first to open his eyes. He blinks a few times, stretches his arms, and lets out a long, sleepy yawn. Beside him, his younger sister is still wrapped tightly inside a soft fur blanket. Only the tip of her little nose is visible. The friendly wolf pup notices that someone is finally awake. Its ears stand straight up. Its tail begins wagging happily against the cave floor. Without making a sound, it walks over and gently nudges a young boy's hand with its nose. The boy smiles. He quietly scratches behind the pup's ears. The little animal closes its eyes with happiness. After another gentle nudge, the wolf pup walks toward the sleeping girl. It carefully sniffs her blanket. Then, with one tiny lick across her cheek, her eyes suddenly open. She giggles softly. The cave fills with the quiet sound of morning laughter. Their mother smiles as she watches the children. She gently folds their blankets and encourages them to stretch after a long night's sleep. Outside the cave, golden sunlight now reaches farther across the valley. Butterflies drift above colorful wildflowers. Small birds continue singing from the nearby trees. The fresh morning air carries the pleasant scent of pine needles and damp earth. The children walk toward the cave entrance. They stand quietly beside one another, looking out across the peaceful valley. A family of deer slowly crosses a meadow. Several rabbits hop between patches of tall green grass. Everything feels calm. Everything feels safe. For these children, this beautiful valley is the only world they have ever known. There are no schools, no clocks, no busy streets. Only family, nature, and another peaceful day waiting to begin. The little wolf pup sits beside them, wagging its tail as the warm morning sun gently shines upon the cave entrance. Another ordinary day has quietly begun. The morning sun now fills the cave with a warm golden glow. Everyone in the family is awake. There is no rush. No one is hurrying to work. The day begins slowly, just as it has for countless generations. The father walks toward a large woven basket, resting against the cave wall. Inside are carefully gathered hazelnuts, acorns that have already been prepared to remove their bitterness, and a handful of dried berries collected during the previous summer. Nearby, the mother kneels beside the fire. She places several smooth stones close to the glowing embers, allowing them to become warm. A flat stone rests above the fire. It has been used many times before. Today, it serves as a family's simple cooking surface. From a small leather pouch, she removes strips of dried deer meat. The meat has been hanging near the fire for many days, slowly drying in the warm smoke. She places a few pieces onto the warm stone. Soon, a pleasant smell fills the cave. The children sit patiently nearby. The little wolf pup watches every movement with great interest. Its nose twitches as a delicious scent spreads through the air. The older boy quietly cracks open several hazelnuts using a smooth river stone. He carefully places the shells into a small pile. Even at his young age, he understands that keeping the cave clean makes life easier for everyone. His younger sister gathers a few fresh berries from a wooden bowl. She proudly places them onto a large flat stone that serves as the family's breakfast table. No fancy dishes, no silver spoons, only simple food prepared with care. The father tears a piece of warm meat into smaller portions. Everyone receives a share. Even the little wolf pup patiently waits until a tiny piece is placed before him. No one eats before the others. Sharing is simply part of everyday life. Outside, birds continue singing from the nearby trees. A cool breeze carries the fresh scent of pine through the cave entrance. The family eats quietly. Between small bites, They smile at one another. There is no conversation about busy schedules, no list of things to accomplish, only the peaceful comfort of beginning another ordinary day together. For this cave family, breakfast is more than food. It is a quiet moment of gratitude, a reminder that yesterday's hard work has provided today's simple meal. As the last berry disappears from the stone plate, everyone feels ready for whatever gentle adventures the new day may bring. Breakfast has now come to a peaceful end. The warm morning sunlight reaches farther into the cave, gently lighting every corner of the family's cozy home. No one rushes to leave. Life in the Stone Age moves at the pace of nature. The father quietly walks toward the cave wall, where several stone tools have been carefully stored. He kneels beside them and begins looking over each one. A smooth flint spear point, a hand axe with sturdy wooden handle, a small stone knife used for everyday tasks. He gently runs his thumb along the edge of the spear point. It is still sharp, very sharp. Satisfied, he smiles and carefully places it beside the cave entrance, ready for later. Across the cave, the mother checks several woven baskets made from dried reeds and flexible branches. One basket is nearly empty. Another still holds a few dried berries collected many days ago. She gently brushes away a few tiny leaves before placing the baskets neatly beside the doorway. Today may be a good day to gather fresh berries, sweet roots, and wild herbs from the nearby forest. The older boy happily watches his father. He picks up a small wooden stick and proudly pretends it is his very own hunting spear. He carefully copies every movement his father makes. One careful step, then another. His father quietly chuckles but says nothing. Learning often begins by simply watching. Nearby, the younger girl sits on a smooth stone. She is carefully arranging colorful feathers she found the day before. A bright blue feather, a soft white feather, a tiny brown feather from a woodland bird. She smiles as she places them into a little leather pouch she proudly calls her treasure bag. Meanwhile, the little wolf pup has become very excited. It sits patiently beside the cave entrance. Its ears stand tall. Its tail sweeps happily across the ground. Every few moments it looks outside, then back toward the family, as if politely asking, "Are we leaving yet?" Outside, the valley has fully awakened. Butterflies drift across fields filled with colorful flowers. A gentle breeze moves through the tall pine trees. The clear stream sparkles beneath the bright morning sun. Far away, a family of deer slowly disappears into the forest. Everything feels calm. Everything feels familiar. Soon, the family will step outside together, not to conquer the world, not to search for adventure, simply to gather what nature quietly offers, and to enjoy another peaceful day together beneath the wide ancient sky. The moment has finally arrived. The family is ready to leave the cave. The father gently lifts a leather pouch over his shoulder. Inside are only a few simple tools: a flint knife, a small hand axe, and a bundle of strong plant fibers. The mother carries 2 woven baskets. They are empty now, but by sunset, she hopes they will be filled with berries, roots, and fresh herbs gathered from a valley. The older boy proudly carries his tiny wooden spear. It isn't sharp. It isn't meant for hunting. It is simply a toy, carefully carved by his father during the long winter evenings. His little sister skips happily behind him. She carefully holds her precious feather pouch close to her chest. The friendly wolf pup is the first to step outside. It stretches beneath the warm morning sunshine. Its nose twitches as it breathes in hundreds of wonderful smells carried by the gentle breeze. Fresh grass, wildflowers, pine trees, cool river water, and somewhere far away, the faint scent of a family of deer. The father smiles. There is no need to rush, he quietly reminds everyone. The valley has waited thousands of years. It can wait another few moments for them. One by one, the family walks down the gentle path leading away from the cave. Soft grass brushes against their feet. Tiny yellow flowers bloom beside smooth stones scattered across the hillside. A pair of rabbits suddenly hops across the path. The children stop and watch with quiet excitement. The rabbits disappear into tall grass just as quickly as they appeared. Above them, colorful birds glide through the bright blue sky. Some build nests among the branches. Others search for insects in the warm morning sunlight. Nearby, a gentle stream flows quietly over smooth rocks. The clear water sparkles like tiny diamonds beneath the sun. The little wolf pup cannot resist. It happily splashes one paw into the cool water. Tiny droplets scatter in every direction. The younger girl laughs softly. Soon the older boy joins in, carefully touching the cool water with his fingers. The father kneels beside the stream. He cups fresh water into his hands and takes a slow drink. The water is cool, clean, refreshing. He quietly thanks nature for another beautiful morning. As they continue walking, butterflies dance from flower to flower. A dragonfly hovers above the water before disappearing into the reeds. The wind gently moves through the ancient pine trees, creating a soft whisper that seems almost like a lullaby. No one speaks very much. There is no need. The forest itself tells a story. Every bird song, every rustling leaf, every gentle breeze, every ripple upon the stream. Together they create the peaceful soundtrack of another ordinary day in the Stone Age. For this little cave family, this beautiful valley is not simply where they live. It is their home, their playground, their marketplace, their classroom, and their greatest teacher. As the family slowly disappears farther along the winding forest path, another quiet adventure has gently begun. As the cave family enjoys the peaceful beauty of the morning valley, there is one very important thing they never forget: the fire. To us, making a fire might seem simple: a single match, a lighter, the push of a button. But for this cave family, thousands of years before those inventions, fire is precious, more precious than gold, more valuable than any tool they own. The father glances back toward the cave. A thin ribbon of pale gray smoke still rises gently into the clear blue sky. He smiles. That tiny stream of smoke tells him something very important. The fire is still alive. Long ago, people discovered that keeping a fire burning was much easier than starting a brand new one every morning. Creating fire from stone could take a very long time, sometimes only a few minutes, sometimes much longer, especially after rain or during cold weather. So families learned a simple lesson: never let the fire die. Even before leaving the cave, the mother carefully placed several thick pieces of dry wood onto the glowing embers. Not enough to create a large fire, only enough to keep the tiny orange coals quietly alive until everyone returned. Back inside the cave, the gentle fire continues burning all by itself. Soft flames dance around blackened logs. Warm smoke slowly drifts upward before escaping through a natural opening in the cave ceiling. The cave feels safe, comfortable, warm. The fire quietly protects everything inside. It keeps the sleeping place dry. It gently dries animal skins after rainy days. It helps preserve meat hanging from wooden racks. Even insects and curious animals are less likely to enter a cave filled with the scent of smoke. Outside, the children gather smooth stones beside the stream. The little wolf pup chases butterflies through the grass. The father and mother quietly collect fresh plants nearby. Every so often, the father glances toward the cave again, just to make sure the thin line of smoke still rises into the peaceful morning sky. It always does. The fire waits patiently, just as it has every day. For many seasons, perhaps for many years, in the quiet world of the Stone Age, a family never truly leaves home alone. As long as their fire continues to burn, a small part of them always remains there, waiting to welcome them back. After making sure the fire will continue burning safely inside the cave, the family begins one of the most ordinary jobs of the day: finding firewood. It may not sound exciting. In fact, it is wonderfully boring. And for this cave family, that is exactly how they like it. The father leads the way into a quiet part of the forest. The ground is soft beneath their feet. A blanket of old pine needles covers the earth. The air smells fresh and clean after a cool morning breeze. Sunlight slips gently through the tall trees, painting little patches of golden light across the forest floor. The father stops beside a fallen tree branch. He bends down and picks it up. Then he gently snaps it in half. Crack! The sound is sharp and clean. He smiles. That is the sound of dry wood. Dry wood burns warmly. Wetwood does not. The older boy watches carefully. His father hands him another small branch. The boy tries the same test. Snap! Another clean crack. His eyes grow wide with pride. He has chosen well. The younger girl searches nearby with the little wolf pup, following every step. She finds a tiny stick lying beneath a bush. It feels damp. She carries it proudly to her mother anyway. Her mother smiles kindly. She gently touches the stick. It is still a little wet, she explains softly. Feel how cool it is. Then she picks up another branch resting beneath an old pine tree. This one stayed dry. The little girl holds both sticks in her hands. One feels cool and heavy. The other feels lighter. She nods with a happy smile. Every day brings another little lesson. The wolf pup suddenly becomes very interested in a long, crooked branch. It grabs the stick with its teeth and proudly trots toward the family. The branch is almost twice as long as the little animal itself. As it walks, the far end bumps against rocks, slides through grass, and accidentally knocks over a tiny pile of pine cones. The children giggle quietly. Even the father cannot help smiling. The wolf pup finally drops the enormous stick at everyone's feet. It sits proudly beside its discovery. Its tail wags so quickly that dry leaves dance across the ground. The father laughs softly. I suppose that one belongs to you. The children gather the smaller branches into neat bundles. Their mother ties each bundle carefully using long strips of flexible plant fiber. No branch is wasted. No tree is cut down without reason. Only what already resting upon the forest floor is collected today. The forest has provided another simple gift. As the family slowly walks back toward the cave, each carries a small bundle. Even the youngest child proudly holds a few tiny sticks beneath one arm. The wolf pup walks at the front of the group, still convinced it has gathered the finest firewood in the entire forest. Perhaps, in its own way, it has. The family's pile of firewood is growing a little larger, but the father is not finished yet. He smiles gently at the children. Today, he says softly, we will learn how to choose the very best wood. The older boy looks around the forest with curious eyes. To him, every stick looks almost the same, long, brown, and made of wood. But the father knows that the forest has many different kinds of trees. Each one burns a little differently. He walks toward a large oak tree. Its thick branches stretch high into the bright blue sky. Beneath it lies a heavy branch that fell during a storm many months ago. The father lifts it carefully. It is dry, he explains. It has rested here for many sunny days. He taps the branch gently against a rock. Talk, talk, talk. The sound is solid and clear. This will burn slowly, he says with a smile. It will keep us warm for a long time. A few steps farther, they reach a fallen pine branch. The needles have already turned brown. The father breaks off a small piece. It is much lighter, he explains. Pine catches fire quickly. It helps the morning fire wake up. The older boy nods carefully. Fast-burning wood, slow-burning wood, both are useful. The younger girl spots another branch lying beside the stream. She runs toward it with excitement, but the father gently shakes his head. He kneels beside her and places one hand upon the damp wood. This one has been drinking water for many days. He smiles kindly. If we take it home, it will make lots of smoke, but very little warmth. The little girl laughs. So this stick likes swimming. The father chuckles softly. Yes, I think it does. The little wolf pup, meanwhile, has discovered something very important. Or at least, it believes it has. It proudly carries a tiny twig no bigger than a feather. Its tail wags happily as it places the little stick beside the growing pile. The children clap quietly. What a wonderful helper, the mother says with a warm smile. The wolf pup lifts its head proudly. Perhaps it believes it has gathered the most valuable firewood of all. As the family continues walking through the peaceful forest, the father reminds the children of another important lesson. Healthy living trees give shade, shelter for birds, homes for squirrels, and fresh air for everyone. Whenever possible, the family collects branches that nature has already shared, with left behind after gentle winds, old storms, or the passing seasons. The forest gives generously, and in return, the family treats it with kindness and respect. By the time the morning sun stands high above the trees, their baskets are comfortably full, not overflowing, only carrying exactly what they need. Because long ago, just as today, taking only what is needed was one of nature's oldest lessons. The family's baskets are now filled with dry branches. The morning has been peaceful. Before returning to the cave, the father decides it is a perfect time to teach the children one of the oldest skills anyone could learn: how to make fire. Not because today's fire has gone out. Far from it. A thin ribbon of smoke still rises from the cave in the distance. Their fire is waiting safely at home. But every child should know how a single spark can become a warm and welcoming flame. The father kneels beside a large flat stone. From his leather pouch, he carefully removes 2 pieces of flint. The children sit quietly beside him. Even the little wolf pup settles onto the soft grass, tilting its head with curiosity. The father places a small bundle of dry grass onto the ground. Mixed within it are tiny pieces of soft tree bark and fluffy plant fibers gathered many days ago. Everything is dry. Everything is ready. He gently holds one flint stone in his left hand. With the other, he gives it a careful strike. Click. Nothing happens. He smiles calmly. There is no hurry. He strikes again. Click. A tiny spark flashes for the briefest moment. The children lean forward. Their eyes grow wide with wonder. Again. Click. 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 Then, a tiny glowing ember lands inside the dry grass. A thread of pale smoke begins to rise. The father does not rush. He gently lifts the bundle into his hands. Slowly, very slowly, he blows warm air across the little ember. The smoke becomes thicker. The children watch without making a sound. Another slow breath. The tiny glow grows brighter. Then suddenly, whoosh, a small orange flame appears. The children smile with quiet amazement. The little wolf pup jumps backward in surprise. Then, after realizing everything is perfectly safe, it slowly creeps forward again and sniffs the warm air. The father places a few tiny twigs onto the little fire, then slightly larger sticks. Finally, one of the dry branches collected earlier. The small flame grows stronger. It always begins with patience, the father says softly, not with strength. The children remember every step. Dry grass, a tiny spark, gentle breaths, small sticks first, large sticks later. Nature rewards those who take their time. The father smiles at his son. One day, you will teach your own children. The boy smiles proudly. His little sister quietly gathers another handful of soft dry grass, just in case they ever need it again. After a few peaceful minutes, the father gently covers the practice fire with cool earth. The last thin curl of smoke drifts into the bright blue sky. The forest becomes quiet once again. The lesson is finished. The knowledge will remain with the family for generations. The afternoon slowly begins to fade. Golden sunlight stretches across the valley, painting the tall grass with warm shades of amber. The cave family follows a familiar path home. Their baskets are now filled with dry firewood. The little wolf pup trots happily ahead, stopping every few moments to sniff a flower or chase a drifting leaf. Soon, the cave comes into view. A thin stream of pale smoke still rises gently from the entrance. The father smiles. The fire has patiently waited for them all day. Inside, the cave feels warm and welcoming. The glowing embers are still alive beneath a blanket of soft gray ash. The mother carefully places a few small sticks onto the fire. Tiny orange flames slowly return. The children sit nearby, quietly watching the fire grow brighter. The father kneels beside the woodpile they collected earlier. He begins sorting each branch into neat piles. Small twigs in one pile, medium branches in another. The thickest logs are placed carefully against the cave wall. The older boy watches with curiosity. Why don't we burn the biggest logs first? He quietly asks. The father smiles kindly. If we burn everything now, there will be little left for the coldest hours of the night. He gently places one thick log beside the glowing fire. It is better to let the fire eat slowly, just like we enjoy a slow meal. The younger girl giggles. So the fire gets sleepy too? The father laughs softly. I think it does. As evening approaches, the family prepares a fire for a long, peaceful night. First come the smallest sticks, then the medium branches. Finally, one strong, dry log rests gently across the glowing coals. The fire responds with a warm, golden glow. No roaring flames, no towering blaze, only a steady, comforting warmth. The little wolf pup circles the fire 3 times before curling into a soft fur blanket. Its ears twitch as it lets out one tiny sleepy sigh. Outside, the sky slowly changes from bright blue to soft shades of pink and orange. Birds return to their nests. The forest becomes quieter with each passing moment. Inside the cave, warm light dances gently across the ancient paintings on the stone walls. The family feels safe, comfortable, protected, long before modern heaters, long before electricity. Families like this one learn that a carefully tended fire could keep a home warm until morning, not through great strength, but through patience, care, and a little planning before the sun went down. Tonight, just as on countless nights before, the fire will quietly watch over the family while they sleep, and by tomorrow morning, its glowing embers will still be waiting to welcome another peaceful day. The sun has now disappeared behind the distant mountains. A cool evening breeze gently moves through the valley. One by one, the birds become quiet. The forest slowly prepares for another peaceful night. Inside the cave, everything feels warm. Everything feels calm. The campfire glows softly at the center of the family's home. Its gentle orange light dances across the ancient stone walls, making the painted deer, horses, and handprints seem almost alive. The family gathers around the fire after a simple evening meal. There are no chairs, no tables, only soft animal fur blankets spread across the smooth cave floor. The father carefully places one more dry log onto the glowing embers. The fire responds with a gentle crackle. Tiny golden sparks drift upward before quietly disappearing into the darkness above. The little wolf pup stretches lazily. It circles the warm fire 3 times, just as it always does, before curling into a comfortable little ball beside the younger girl. She gently strokes its soft fur. Within moments, the little animal lets out a tiny sleepy sigh. Its eyes slowly close. The older boy leans against his father's shoulder. His eyelids are already beginning to feel heavy after a long day spent exploring the forest. The mother quietly continues sewing a small tear in one of the family's warm fur blankets, using a slender bone needle and strong thread made from animal sinew. Her hands move slowly, patiently. Every careful stitch helps the blanket last through another cold season. For a few peaceful moments, no one speaks. Only the gentle crackling of the fire fills the cave. Outside, the wind softly whispers through the tall pine trees. Somewhere in the distance, an owl calls into the quiet night. The father smiles. Then, in a calm and gentle voice, he begins telling one of the family's favorite stories. It is not a story about great battles or mighty heroes. It is a simple tale of a clever little rabbit who always managed to find food, even during the longest winter. The children have heard the story many times before. They already know how it ends. Yet, somehow, it never becomes boring. Perhaps the best stories are the ones that remind us of home. As the father continues speaking, the younger girl's eyes slowly close. The older boy quietly yawns. Even the little wolf pup twitches gently in its sleep, as though it is dreaming about chasing rabbits across the moonlit valley. Outside the cave, thousands of bright stars slowly appear above the ancient world. There are no city lights, no roads, no noise, only endless stars stretching across the clear night sky. The fire burns steadily, just as it has every evening. Its warm glow protects the family through the long, quiet night. Tomorrow morning, the embers will still be waiting, ready to welcome another peaceful sunrise and another wonderfully ordinary day in the life of this little cave family. A new morning quietly arrives. Long before the first bird finishes its morning song, the father is already awake. The campfire still glows with tiny orange embers beneath a blanket of soft gray ash. He smiles. The fire has faithfully kept the cave warm throughout the entire night. Outside, the valley slowly awakens beneath the sky, painted with soft shades of pink and golden yellow. A cool breeze carries the fresh scent of pine trees through the cave entrance. Small birds flutter from branch to branch, singing cheerful songs that echo gently across the quiet hills. Inside the cave, the rest of the family slowly begins to wake. The older boy stretches with a sleepy yawn. His little sister rubs her eyes before smiling at the friendly wolf pup sleeping beside her. The little pup opens one eye, yawns even wider than children, then happily rolls onto its back, hoping for a morning belly rub. The children laugh quietly. Their mother kneels beside the fire. From a woven basket, she carefully removes several handfuls of dried berries collected during the previous summer. Next comes a small leather pouch filled with roasted hazelnuts. Finally, she unwraps several thin strips of smoked deer meat that have been hanging safely above the fire for many days. Nothing is wasted. Every piece of food has been carefully prepared and protected. The father places a smooth, flat stone above the glowing embers. Slowly, the smoked meat begins to warm. A delicious aroma gently fills the cave. The little wolf pup lifts its nose into the air. Its ears stand straight up. Its tail begins wagging so quickly that it gently brushes against the younger girl's blanket. She giggles. "I think someone is hungry." The father laughs softly. "I believe you're right." Soon, everyone gathers around the warm fire. There are no plates made of glass, no forks, no metal pots. Instead, breakfast is served on smooth, flat stones and large leaves gathered from a forest. Each family member receives a small share, a few berries, several roasted hazelnuts, a strip of warm smoked meat. Simple food, simple happiness. Outside, the morning sun climbs a little higher above the valley. Inside, the family enjoys another quiet breakfast together. For them, the best way to begin the day is not with excitement, but with gratitude, warm food, and the company of those they love most. As breakfast is ready, no one begins eating right away. The father quietly looks around the small circle. Everyone is here. The mother, the older boy, the younger girl. Even the little wolf pup sits patiently beside the fire. Only then does breakfast truly begin. The father picks up the warm strips of smoked deer meat. With slow, careful hands, he tears each strip into smaller pieces. One piece for the mother, one for the older boy, one for the younger girl, and finally, a tiny piece for the little wolf pup. The little animal sits as still as a stone. Its bright eyes never leave the father's hand. Its tail gently sweeps across the cave floor. When its turn finally comes, the father places a small piece of meat onto a flat stone. The wolf pup waits, just for a moment, then carefully picks it up with surprising gentleness. The children smile. The mother laughs softly. He has very good manners. The father nods. He has learned from watching us. Next come the roasted hazelnuts. The older boy counts them carefully. 1, 2, 3. He places the same number in front of every family member. His little sister watches closely. Then she notices something. The father has one fewer nut than everyone else. Without saying a word, she quietly slides one of hers onto a stone plate. The father notices. He smiles warmly, but instead of keeping it, he gently places it back onto her plate. "You are still growing," he says softly. "You need it more than I do." The little girl grins proudly. Nearby, the wolf pup discovers a tiny hazelnut shell rolling across the cave floor. It nudges the shell with its nose, then paws at it. Soon, the little shell rolls in a tiny circle. The pup happily chases it. The children giggle quietly. Even the father cannot hide a smile. Sometimes, breakfast comes with its own little game. Outside the cave, the forest is already full of life. A squirrel races along the branch of an ancient oak tree. A family of rabbits quietly nibbles fresh grass near the stream. Bright butterflies drift above colorful wildflowers. Inside, the cave feels peaceful. There is plenty of time. Nobody eats quickly. Nobody worries about being late. Every bite is enjoyed slowly. Every meal is shared with gratitude. Long before restaurants. Long before kitchens filled with modern appliances. Families gathered around simple fires, sharing simple food, creating simple memories. Perhaps that made breakfast taste even better. As the final berries disappear from the smooth stone plates, the family thanks nature for another good meal. Their stomachs are full, their hearts are warm, and another beautiful day is waiting just beyond the cave entrance. With breakfast finished, the family prepares for a gentle morning walk. Today's goal is simple: fresh berries. The mother picks up 2 woven baskets and hands the smaller one to her daughter. The little girl smiles proudly. She loves helping collect food. The older boy carries another basket, although he tries to look very serious. He is mostly excited about spending time outdoors. The father leads the way down the familiar path from the cave. The little wolf pup races ahead, then races back, then runs ahead again. It seems unable to decide where it wants to be. The valley is especially beautiful this morning. Wildflowers cover the hillsides in bright colors: yellow, purple, blue, and white. Butterflies float gently from flower to flower. The air smells fresh after the cool night. Soon, the family reaches a patch of berry bushes growing beside a sunny clearing. Tiny red berries hang from the branches. Some are fully ripe, others need more time. The mother kneels beside the bushes. She carefully picks a bright red berry and places it into her basket. The children immediately begin doing the same, but the father gently raises one hand. "Not every berry is safe," he says softly. The children stop and listen. The father points toward a nearby bush covered in dark berries. "Some berries help us. Some berries make us sick." The older boy nods carefully. He has heard this lesson before. The younger girl studies each berry very closely. To her, every berry simply looks delicious. The mother smiles. Learning takes time, one berry at a time. The little wolf pup decides that berry gathering looks extremely interesting. It pushes its nose into a bush. Its tail wiggles excitedly. A moment later, a berry lands on its nose. The pup freezes, crosses its eyes, and tries to understand what just happened. The children burst into laughter. The berry falls off. The wolf pup immediately chases it through the grass. Nearby, a bee quietly visits a flower. Then another. Then another. The father points toward them. Even the bees are gathering food today. The children watch as the busy insects move from flower to flower. Everyone in the valley has work to do. The rabbits, the birds, the bees, and now the cave family. As the morning continues, the baskets slowly become heavier. Bright berries begin filling the bottom. The children proudly compare their collections. The older boy has gathered many. The younger girl has gathered fewer, but she insists hers are the prettiest. Perhaps she is right. By the time the sun climbs higher into the sky, the family has collected enough berries for several days. The mother smiles with satisfaction. The forest has shared another gift, and the family has accepted it with patience and gratitude. The little wolf pup sits beside the full baskets. Its nose is stained slightly red from a berry it accidentally stepped on. It looks very proud of its contribution. No one has the heart to tell it otherwise. The family's baskets are now pleasantly filled with fresh berries. But before returning home, the father notices something familiar. A quiet humming sound drifts gently through the forest. Bee-zee-zee, bee-zee-zee. The younger girl looks around with curious eyes. "Do you hear that?" The older boy nods. It sounds like tiny flying singers. The father smiles warmly. "I think our little friends have been busy." He slowly follows the gentle humming through the trees. The family walks quietly behind him. Even the little wolf pup seems curious. Its ears stand tall as it sniffs the cool morning air. After a short walk, the father stops beside a large ancient oak tree. High above the ground, inside a hollow opening, hundreds of busy honeybees fly in and out of their tiny home. Golden sunlight shines through their delicate wings. The children watch in complete silence. The bees never stop working. Some arrive carrying bright yellow pollen on their tiny legs. Others disappear into the hollow tree before quickly flying out again. The mother smiles. They have been busy since sunrise. The father kneels beside the children. Watch carefully. Every bee has a job. Some gather nectar. Some care for the young. Some protect the hive. Together, they build something wonderful. The little wolf pup tilts its head. Then, it notices one bee flying in circles nearby. Very slowly, the curious pup lifts one paw. It tries to catch the tiny, buzzing visitor. The bee quietly changes direction. The pup spins around, misses completely, and gently tumbles onto a patch of soft green grass. The children cover their mouths as they giggle. The wolf pup stands up proudly, as if falling over had been part of the plan all along. The father quietly laughs. Perhaps bees are just a little faster. Everyone watches peacefully as the bees continue their important work. No one disturbs them. No one reaches into the hive. The family understands that the bees worked very hard to make their honey. Sometimes, when the hive is large and healthy, people may carefully collect a very small amount, but never too much. The bees need their food just as much as the family does. The father points toward the flowers surrounding the clearing. Without bees, there would be far fewer berries, far fewer flowers, and many fewer plants. The children look around the colorful forest with new appreciation. Every tiny creature has an important place, even the smallest bee. After thanking nature for another wonderful lesson, the family quietly continues their peaceful walk. Behind them, the gentle humming of the busy little workers slowly fades into the whispering forest. The little wolf pup glances back one last time, then decides it is probably best to leave the buzzing experts alone. The morning sun now shines high above the peaceful valley. After collecting berries and visiting the busy honeybees, the family decides it is time for a short rest. The father leads everyone toward the gentle stream that winds quietly through the forest. The sound of flowing water grows a little louder with every step. Splash, ripple, splash. Soon, the sparkling stream comes into view. Its clear water glides slowly over smooth, round stones that have rested here for thousands of years. Sunlight dances across the gentle ripples like tiny pieces of silver. The father kneels beside the stream. Before taking a drink, he watches the water carefully. It flows clean and fresh from the hills above. He smiles. This is a good place to stop. The mother kneels beside him. She fills a shallow wooden bowl with cool water. One by one, she gently rinses the freshly picked berries. Tiny drops of water sparkle as they roll across the bright red fruit. The older boy finds a perfectly smooth flat stone near the edge of the stream. He carefully tosses it across the water. Skip, skip, skip. The little stone bounces 3 times before quietly disappearing beneath the surface. The younger girl claps with delight. She searches for her own special stone. After a long moment, she proudly throws it. Plop! It sinks immediately. Everyone smiles. It was a very brave stone, the father says with a gentle laugh. It simply preferred swimming. The little girl giggles. I'll find a flatter one next time. Nearby, the little wolf pup notices a large green leaf floating gently downstream. Its ears perk up. Its tail begins wagging. Without a second thought, it leaps into the shallow water. Splash! Tiny droplets fly in every direction. The older boy laughs as cool water lands on his feet. The younger girl squeals with surprise. Even the mother cannot help smiling. The little wolf pup proudly chases the floating leaf from one side of the stream to the other. Every time it almost catches it, the gentle current carries the leaf just a little farther away. After several determined splashes, the pup finally gives up. It climbs back onto the riverbank. Its fur is soaking wet. It shakes itself from nose to tail. Whoosh! A sparkling shower of water sprays across everyone nearby. The children burst into cheerful laughter. The father wipes a few drops from his beard. I believe someone has just given us all a bath. The wolf pup looks wonderfully pleased with itself. Perhaps it believes this was the entire purpose of the adventure. The family sits quietly beside the stream for a few peaceful moments. Cool water flows endlessly toward distant rivers. Dragonflies hover above the reeds. Small fish glide silently beneath the clear surface. The breeze carries the fresh scent of water and wild mint through the valley. For this cave family, the stream is much more than a place to drink. It is a place to rest, to laugh, to learn, and to quietly enjoy another beautiful morning together. Eventually, the father stands. The baskets are full. The family feels refreshed, and the peaceful journey home can now begin. The morning has been kind to the little cave family. Their woven baskets are now comfortably full. Bright red berries, fresh green herbs, a handful of smooth hazelnuts, and many happy memories from their quiet walk through the forest. The father gently lifts the heaviest basket onto his shoulder. It feels pleasantly heavy. Not too much, just enough to provide food for the next few days. The mother carries another basket filled with berries carefully arranged in neat layers. She smiles with quiet satisfaction. Nature has been generous once again. The older boy proudly carries his own small basket. Every few moments, he peeks inside to admire everything he helped collect. The younger girl walks beside him, gently humming a simple little tune she made up herself. She occasionally stops to admire a colorful butterfly or a bright yellow flower growing beside the path. There is no hurry. The cave will still be waiting for them. The little wolf pup, however, has discovered a very important treasure. It proudly picks up a tiny crooked stick. Not a large branch, not a useful log, just one small stick. Its tail wags so quickly that it almost loses its balance. With great determination, it carries the little stick all the way along the forest path. Every now and then, it looks back toward the family, almost as if asking, "Are you all impressed?" The older boy laughs softly. I think he believes he's carrying the biggest load. The father smiles. Perhaps, to him, he is. The forest feels wonderfully peaceful. A gentle breeze rustles the leaves high above. Birds continue singing cheerful songs from the treetops. A pair of squirrels chase one another around the trunk of a tall oak tree before disappearing into the branches. Nearby, a family of rabbits quietly watches the travelers from behind a patch of tall grass. The younger girl notices tiny footprints pressed into the soft earth. They belong to a fox that passed through the valley earlier that morning. The father kneels beside the tracks. He gently traces one footprint with his finger. Every animal leaves a story behind. He says softly, "If we learn to look carefully, the forest is always talking to us." The children study the little footprints with great curiosity. Even the wolf pup lowers its nose to the ground. After a few enthusiastic sniffs, it sneezes. The children laugh quietly. The father chuckles. I think our little hunter still has much to learn. As the family reaches the top of a gentle hill, their cozy cave comes into view once again. A thin ribbon of pale gray smoke still rises peacefully into the bright afternoon sky. The fire is waiting. Home is waiting. The father pauses for a moment. He looks across the beautiful valley. Rolling green hills, sparkling streams, ancient forests, and endless blue sky. Everything feels calm. Everything feels familiar. Sometimes, the happiest journeys are the ones that end exactly where they began. The family walks the final few steps toward the cave. The little wolf pup proudly trots in front of everyone, still carrying its tiny crooked stick, completely convinced that it has made the greatest contribution of the day. Another peaceful morning arrives in the valley. The gentle glow of sunrise slowly reaches the entrance of the family's cave. The fire is still alive. The birds have already begun their cheerful songs. And today, the father has an important job to do. He is preparing for a hunt, not because the family is in danger, not because they enjoy hunting, but because every family needs food to live. Long before farms, long before grocery stores, people depended on the land around them. The father quietly kneels beside a smooth stone. He lays out his simple tools: a wooden spear, a sharp flint point, a small stone knife, a coil of braided plant fiber. Nothing is made of metal. Iron has not yet been discovered. Steel does not exist. Every tool has been carefully shaped by hand using stone, wood, bone, and patience. The older boy sits beside his father. He watches every movement closely. The father carefully checks the spear. He gently wiggles the flint point. It is firmly attached to the wooden shaft with strong plant fibers and natural tree resin. He smiles with quiet satisfaction. A well-made tool is safer, more reliable, and it lasts much longer. Nearby, the mother prepares a small leather pouch. Inside, she places dried berries, a few roasted hazelnuts, and a small bundle of clean plant leaves. Simple food for the journey. The younger girl carefully fills a small animal skin water pouch using fresh water from the nearby stream. Although she is too young to join today's hunt, she enjoys helping in every way she can. The little wolf pup watches everyone with growing excitement. It notices the spear, the leather pouch, the woven rope. Something unusual is happening today. Its tail begins wagging happily. The father gently scratches behind the pup's ears. "Not today, little one," he says with a warm smile. "You're still much too young." The wolf pup tilts its head, then sits politely, although it clearly disagrees. Before leaving, the father looks toward the children. There is one thing more important than catching food. The children wait quietly. He smiles, coming home safely. The older boy nods. He has heard these words many times. They are not simply advice. They are family tradition. Outside, the valley is peaceful. A light morning mist still hangs above the distant meadow. Deer graze quietly far away. Birds glide across the brightening sky. The father quietly lifts his spear. He takes one final look at his family, then begins walking slowly toward the ancient forest, not with excitement, not with fear, but with patience, because in the Stone Age, the best hunters were often the quietest walkers. The father and his son leave the cave behind. The peaceful morning air feels cool against their faces. They walk slowly beneath the tall pine trees. There is no need to hurry. In fact, walking too quickly would only make the forest louder. The father places each foot carefully upon the soft earth. His son quietly copies every step. Neither of them speaks. Instead, they listen. The gentle breeze moves through the branches above. Woodpeckers tap softly against distant tree trunks. A squirrel chatters somewhere high in the canopy. Every sound tells a small part of the forest story. After several peaceful minutes, the father suddenly stops. He kneels beside a patch of soft mud near the edge of the stream. Without saying a word, he points toward the ground. The older boy kneels beside him. At first, he sees nothing unusual, only mud, tiny stones, and fallen leaves. Then, he notices them, several clear footprints pressed into the soft earth. The father gently traces one with his finger. "This deer walked here early this morning," he whispers. The older boy studies the shape carefully. 2 narrow hoof marks, perfectly clear. The father smiles. The ground remembers every visitor. Nearby, a much smaller set of footprints crosses the path. Tiny little paws. The boy guesses immediately. "A rabbit?" The father nods proudly. "I believe you're right." The trail continues into the tall grass before disappearing completely. The boy smiles. The forest suddenly feels full of invisible travelers. A little farther ahead, they discover another clue. A low branch has been bent downward. Several fresh leaves have disappeared. The father gently touches the broken twig. This deer stopped here for breakfast. The boy looks closely. He notices tiny bite marks along the edge of the leaves. He has never seen them before. Now, he realizes the forest leaves little messages everywhere. You simply have to learn how to read them. The father reminds his son that a good hunter is also a careful observer. Knowing where animals have been is often more important than knowing where they are now. Nearby, the little wolf pup has quietly followed them after all. Not very quietly. Actually, it proudly bounds through a pile of dry leaves. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Every bird in the area immediately flies into the air. The father laughs softly. The older boy covers his smile. "I thought you said he was staying home." "So did I," the father replies with a gentle chuckle. The wolf pup happily wags its tail, completely unaware that it has just announced their location to the entire forest. Perhaps it still has much to learn about being a hunter, but it is already becoming a wonderful companion. The father gently scratches behind the pup's ears. Then the 3 travelers continue their peaceful walk beneath the ancient trees, not searching for excitement, only following the quiet stories written upon the forest floor. After following the quiet trail through the ancient forest, The father gently raises one hand. It is the signal to stop. The older boy freezes. He has learned this silent gesture many times before. No words are needed. The father slowly points toward a grassy meadow beyond the trees. Far in the distance, a small family of white-tailed deer peacefully grazes beneath the warm morning sun. The animals are calm. They nibble fresh grass, occasionally lifting their heads to listen to the sounds of the forest. The father quietly kneels beneath a great old oak tree. His son joins him. Together, they simply watch. There is no rush, no sudden movement, no loud whisper, only patience. The father smiles gently. Most of hunting, he whispers, is waiting. The boy nods. At first, waiting feels easy. He watches the deer. He listens to the birds. He notices butterflies floating across the meadow. Minutes pass quietly. Then, the waiting begins to feel much longer. He shifts slightly on the soft grass. The father notices. Without speaking, he simply smiles. Patience is something that cannot be taught quickly. It grows, slowly, like an ancient tree. A gentle breeze carries the scent of pine through the forest. Tall grasses sway together like gentle waves upon a green sea. A red fox quietly appears at the edge of the meadow. It pauses for only a moment before disappearing into the tall grass once again. The older boy's eyes follow every movement. The forest is never truly still. It is simply peaceful. Nearby, a tiny bird lands on a low branch only a few feet away. It begins singing a cheerful morning song. The father whispers. Even the smallest bird reminds us, we are visitors here. The boy looks around with new understanding. This forest belongs to many creatures. The deer, the fox, the rabbits, the birds, even the tiny ants walking across the fallen log beside them. Humans are only one small part of this great living world. A familiar sound suddenly breaks the silence. Crunch, crunch, crunch. The father slowly closes his eyes. He already knows exactly who it is. The little wolf pup. Somehow, it has followed them again. This time, it proudly carries an enormous pine cone in its mouth. The pine cone is almost too large for the little animal to manage. It bumps against every rock along the path. Crunch, bump, roll. The deer quietly lift their heads. They look toward the curious little visitor. For a brief moment, everyone simply stares at one another. Then, the deer calmly walk deeper into the forest, not frightened, simply continuing their peaceful morning. The older boy sighs softly. I suppose today wasn't the day. The father smiles warmly. That is perfectly all right. Some days, the forest chooses to keep its secrets. The little wolf pup finally reaches them. It proudly drops the pine cone at the father's feet. Its tail wags with complete confidence. Clearly, it believes it has helped in some important way. The father gently scratches behind its ears. I think you brought us a fine gift. The boy laughs quietly. The morning has turned out differently than expected, but somehow it has become even more memorable. The three companions sit beneath the great oak tree for a few more peaceful moments, watching the sunlight dance across the meadow, listening to the wind move through the ancient forest, and learning that sometimes the greatest lesson nature offers is simply how to wait. The deer have now disappeared beyond the tall grasses. The meadow grows quiet once again. For several peaceful moments, neither the father nor his son says a word. The older boy finally breaks the silence. We could have followed them. The father smiles gently. Yes, we could have. But today, we do not need to. The boy looks surprised. He glances at the baskets resting beside them. There is still plenty of food back at the cave. Fresh berries, smoked meat, hazelnuts, roots gathered only yesterday. The family is not hungry. The father places his hand upon the soft earth. He feels the warmth of the morning sun reaching the forest floor. A good hunter, he says quietly, does not measure success by how many animals he finds. He measures it by how wisely he chooses. The older boy listens carefully. The father points toward the distant trees where the deer quietly disappeared. Those deer have young ones to care for. They belong to this valley Just as we do, if we take more than we truly need, the valley slowly becomes empty. The breeze gently stirs the tall grass. Somewhere nearby, a woodpecker taps rhythmically against an old tree. The peaceful sound seemed to agree with every word. The father continues, "Our grandparents taught us something very important. Take only what helps your family live, and always leave enough for tomorrow." The older boy slowly nods. He realizes that hunting is not only about skill, it is also about kindness, respect, and patience. The little wolf pup, meanwhile, has become fascinated by a bright yellow butterfly. It quietly sneaks through the grass. One careful step, then another. Its little tail wiggles with excitement, just as it prepares to pounce. The butterfly gently floats upward. The pup leaps into the air, misses completely, turns in a tiny circle, then lands safely on a patch of soft moss. The butterfly continues drifting peacefully across the meadow, completely unbothered. The father chuckles softly. Some things are simply meant to stay wild. The children laugh quietly. The wolf pup blinks with confusion, then happily chases another butterfly with exactly the same result. The father stands slowly. He places a spear across his shoulder. Today, they will return home exactly as they arrived, with their tools, their knowledge, and a deeper understanding of the forest. Sometimes, the greatest success is knowing when not to act. As they begin the gentle walk back through the ancient trees, the older boy looks at the valley with new eyes. He no longer sees only animals. He sees neighbors, every bird, every rabbit, every deer, every butterfly. Each one has its own place in the great story of the forest. And today, the cave family has chosen to let that story continue. The father and his son begin the peaceful walk back toward their cave. The forest feels just as calm as it did that morning. Sunlight filters gently through the tall pine trees. The air carries a comforting scent of warm earth and fresh leaves. The father still carries his wooden spear across his shoulder. His leather pouch feels almost as light as when he first left home. Today, he is bringing back no fresh meat, but somehow he feels completely satisfied. The older boy walks quietly beside him. After a few minutes, he finally asks a question that has been resting in his mind. Will mother be disappointed? The father smiles warmly. I don't think so. We already have enough food. Today, we brought home something different. The boy looks puzzled. What did we bring? The father gently taps his son's shoulder. You learn how to read the forest. You learn patience. And you learn that sometimes the wisest choice is to leave nature exactly as you found it. The boy smiles. Perhaps those were valuable gifts after all. The little wolf pup proudly trots ahead of them. It is still carrying the same tiny crooked stick from earlier. Every few steps, it looks back as if expecting applause. The father quietly laughs. I believe someone had a very successful hunting trip. The boy nods. He certainly thinks so. As they reach the edge of the valley, the familiar cave comes into view. A thin ribbon of gray smoke rises peacefully into the afternoon sky. The fire is still burning. Home is waiting. Near the entrance, the younger girl is sitting on a smooth rock, arranging colorful feathers into little patterns. The moment she sees them, she jumps to her feet. They're home. The mother steps outside with a warm smile. She notices immediately that the father is not carrying fresh game, but she does not seem disappointed. Instead, she asks only one simple question. Did you have a peaceful day? The father nods. A very peaceful one. The older boy eagerly begins telling the story. He describes the deer tracks beside the stream, the rabbit footprints, the fox crossing the meadow, the songbird resting on a nearby branch, and, of course, the little wolf pup chasing butterflies and proudly delivering a pine cone that no one had asked for. The younger girl laughs so hard she nearly drops her feathers. Even the mother wipes away a tear of laughter. The little wolf pup, hearing everyone laugh, happily wags its tail. It has no idea why everyone seems so amused. It simply knows that everyone is smiling. The father gently places his spear beside the cave wall. Then he kneels beside the glowing fire. Sometimes, a peaceful day spent learning together is more valuable than bringing anything home at all. The afternoon passes quietly. The children help organize the berries they gathered yesterday. The mother hangs fresh herbs near the fire to dry. The father repairs a loose binding on one of his stone tools. No one speaks very much. There is no need. The cave feels warm. The family is together. The fire continues to glow softly. Outside, the valley remains peaceful beneath the gentle afternoon sun. For this little cave family, happiness has never depended on having more. It has always come from appreciating enough. As the afternoon slowly fades into evening, the valley becomes quieter once again. Long shadows stretch across the meadow. The warm golden sunlight softens into shades of orange and pink. Birds return to their nests high among the ancient pine trees. The cave family finishes their simple chores before night arrives. The mother gently hangs fresh herbs above the fire. Their pleasant scent slowly fills the cave. The older boy neatly places the baskets of berries against the cool stone wall. His younger sister carefully arranges smooth river stones into a tiny circle. She proudly calls it her own little campfire. The little wolf pup watches with great curiosity. After studying her work for several moments, it quietly picks up one smooth pebble, then proudly places it beside the circle. The little girl smiles. Thank you. The pup's tail begins wagging. Perhaps it believes it has become a master builder. The father sits beside the glowing campfire. He carefully checks the bindings on his wooden spear one final time. Satisfied, he places the spear safely against the cave wall. It can rest until another day. There is no need for it tonight. The family gathers together around the warm fire. The gentle flames flicker quietly. Their soft orange light dances across the colorful paintings covering the cave walls. Outside, the first evening stars begin appearing above the valley. The older boy begins telling the story of their morning adventure. He describes the deer tracks beside the stream, the rabbit footprints crossing the forest path, the family of deer peacefully grazing beneath the great oak tree, and of course, the little wolf pup proudly carrying a pine cone almost as large as its own head. Everyone laughs softly. Even the father cannot help smiling. The mother gently places another small log onto the glowing embers. Tiny sparks float upward before quietly disappearing into the darkness above. She looks toward the children. Today the forest gave us many gifts. Berries, fresh water, beautiful flowers, and new lessons. The younger girl quietly adds, and butterflies. The father nods. Yes, and butterflies. For a few peaceful moments, nobody speaks. They simply watch the fire, listen to the gentle wind outside, and enjoy being together. In the distance, an owl calls softly beneath the star-filled sky. Crickets begin their quiet evening song. The cool night air settles gently across the valley. The little wolf pup circles the fire once, twice, 3 times, before curling into its favorite sleeping place beside the younger girl. Within moments, its breathing becomes slow and peaceful. The children begin rubbing their sleepy eyes. The long day has gently worn them out. The father looks around at his family. The warm fire, the smiling faces, the safe little cave they call home. Then he quietly says, "Some days teach us how to survive. And some days remind us how wonderful it is simply to live." The fire crackles softly. The stars shine brightly above the ancient world. And another peaceful day comes to a quiet, grateful end. Another peaceful morning begins in the ancient valley. The bright green leaves of summer gently sway in the breeze. The children play happily outside the cave. The little wolf pup chases drifting feathers through the soft grass. Everything feels warm. Everything feels comfortable. But the father quietly looks toward the distant mountains. High above the valley, their peaks remain covered with white snow, even during summer. He smiles gently. The cold will return. The older boy looks up at the mountains. It always does. The father nods. Every season has its turn. The family has learned this lesson over many generations. Warm days never last forever. Soon, cool mornings will arrive. The leaves will slowly change from green to golden yellow to deep orange, and finally, winter will cover the valley with snow. long before thick wool sweaters, long before cotton shirts, and thousands of years before warm winter jackets. Families like this one made their own clothing using the gifts that nature provided: animal hides, soft fur, plant fibers, and many hours of careful work. Inside the cave, the mother carefully unfolds a beautifully prepared deer hide. It is soft, flexible, and wonderfully warm. The younger girl reaches out with both hands. She gently strokes the smooth fur. It feels like a cloud. The mother smiles. It will keep you warm when the snow comes. Nearby, the older boy holds up a small pair of fur boots made during the previous winter. They are becoming too small. His feet have grown. The father laughs softly. Someone is growing faster than the seasons. The boy grins proudly. Perhaps he is. The little wolf pup notices one of the soft fur boots resting on the cave floor. It carefully sniffs it, tilts its head, then decides, this must surely be the world's most comfortable pillow. It curls up directly on top of the boot. Within seconds, its eyes begin to close. The children laugh quietly. I think he likes our winter clothes. I think he does, the mother replies. Outside, a cool breeze briefly drifts into the cave, just enough to remind everyone that even warm summer mornings can become chilly. The father carefully folds the deer hide once again. Making warm clothing takes many days. We must begin before winter arrives. The children nod. They understand. Some jobs cannot wait until the last moment. Good preparation makes every season easier. The glowing campfire crackles softly nearby. The cave feels safe, comfortable, peaceful. Today, the family will begin one of their oldest traditions. Not hunting, not gathering food, but preparing warm clothing for the cold days that will one day return to the valley. The morning sun continues to warm the peaceful valley. After enjoying a simple breakfast together, the cave family begins another important task: preparing a deer hide for clothing. The father gently carries the folded hide outside the cave. He places it beside the clear stream where cool water flows quietly over smooth stones. The mother joins him with a small basket filled with simple tools: a smooth river stone, a rounded bone scraper, and several clean pieces of soft moss. Nothing looks fancy. Everything has been made by hand. The older boy kneels beside the stream. He carefully dips the hide into the cool water. The leather becomes darker as it slowly absorbs the water. The younger girl watches tiny ripples spread across the surface. The little wolf pup sits nearby, completely fascinated by the moving water. The mother smiles. The hide becomes easier to work with after it is soaked. The children nod. They gently help lift one edge while the father supports the other. Working together makes even heavy jobs feel lighter. The father spreads the damp hide across a large, flat rock beside the stream. The mother picks up the smooth river stone and slowly rubs the surface of the hide, not with force, only with steady, gentle movements. The older boy carefully copies her, back and forth, slowly, patiently. The younger girl uses a piece of soft moss to wash away tiny bits of dirt and dried leaves. She hums quietly as she works. Nearby, the little wolf pup discovers its own reflection in the clear water. It stares at the curious little face, looking back. It tilts its head. The reflection does exactly the same. The pup takes one careful step forward, then another. Finally, it gently taps the water with one tiny paw. Splash! The reflection disappears. The wolf pup looks completely surprised. The children laugh softly. I think the stream just played a trick on him, says the father with a smile. After a few moments, the water becomes calm again. The little face returns. The pup seems satisfied. Whatever mystery had happened, it had apparently solved it. Meanwhile, the family continues cleaning the hide. The father explains that every step matters. A clean hide lasts longer. It feels softer, and it becomes much easier to turn into warm clothing. Nothing is rushed. There are no shortcuts, only careful hands, working together, one gentle movement at a time. As the morning passes, the hide becomes cleaner, smoother, ready for the next stage of its journey. The father smiles proudly at the children. Good work, takes time. The older boy looks at the shining hide. The younger girl gently wipes away one final drop of water. Together, they have completed another quiet lesson beside the peaceful stream, under the warm morning sun. The gentle morning slowly drifts toward midday. The deer hide has become clean and wonderfully soft after its careful washing. Now, the family begins the next important step, making the hide even smoother. The father carries the damp hide back to the sunny clearing beside the cave. He carefully stretches across a sturdy wooden frame made from young tree branches tied together with strong plant fibers. The hide lies perfectly flat. The warm breeze gently moves across its surface. The father picks up a smooth scraper carved from the shoulder bone of a deer. Years of careful use have polished its edges until they feel almost silky. He hands another scraper to the older boy. "This work cannot be hurried," he says softly. "The hide will teach you its own pace." The boy nods. He places the scraper against the surface. Very slowly, he pulls it toward himself. The movement is smooth, steady, gentle. The father smiles. "Excellent. Let the tool do the work." Nearby, the mother uses a rounded stone scraper. Her movements are calm and practiced, back and forth, again and again. Every careful stroke helps soften the leather for future clothing. The younger girl watches closely. Soon, the mother hands her a small, smooth stone. "Would you like to help?" The little girl beams with excitement. She gently copies the same slow movement, although her tiny hands move much more slowly. Every stroke is made with great care. The father quietly nods. Every pair of hands helps. Above them, a gentle breeze carries the sweet scent of pine through the clearing. Birds sing from the nearby branches. A pair of butterflies drift lazily through the warm sunlight. Everything feels peaceful. Everything moves slowly. Just then, the little wolf pup decides it has discovered the perfect resting place. Without hesitation, it hops onto the middle of the stretched deer hide. It turns around once, twice, 3 times, then curls into a tiny fluffy ball. The entire family pauses. The older boy tries very hard not to laugh. The younger girl covers her mouth. The mother smiles knowingly. The father gently walks over. "I believe someone thinks this is a very comfortable blanket." The wolf pup opens one sleepy eye, yawns, then closes it again. Clearly, it has no intention of moving. The father softly scratches behind its ears. "I'm afraid we still need this hide." The little pup stretches dramatically, very slowly stands, and lazily climbs down from the frame. Before leaving, it gives the hide one final approving sniff, as if declaring, "Comfortable enough." The family bursts into quiet laughter. The work soon continues. Stone scrapers glide gently across the leather. The hide becomes softer with every passing minute. The father looks at his children with quiet pride. Strong clothing is made little by little, just like strong families. The children smile. The little wolf pup settles beneath the wooden frame instead, watching everyone work with sleepy eyes. Perhaps it has finally found a better place for its afternoon nap. The warm breeze continues to move through the valley. The birds continue singing. And another peaceful lesson quietly comes to an end. With the hard work now complete, the deer hide is ready for the next gentle step, drying beneath the warm afternoon sun. The father carefully unties the hide from the wooden frame. Together, the whole family carries it to an open meadow where sunlight reaches the grass from morning until evening. 2 sturdy wooden poles stand firmly in the ground. A strong rope made from twisted plant fibers stretches between them. The father slowly lifts one side of the hide. The mother lifts the other. Together, they carefully hang it across the line. The soft breeze immediately catches the edges. The hide moves gently, back and forth, like a quiet sail floating upon an invisible sea. The children watch with wide smiles. "It looks like it's waving at us," the younger girl whispers. The older boy grins. "Maybe it's saying thank you." The father laughs softly. Or perhaps it's simply enjoying the sunshine. The warm afternoon air carries the pleasant scent of wildflowers across the meadow. Bees hum quietly among patches of purple flowers. Butterflies drift lazily from blossom to blossom. High above, a hawk circles peacefully across the endless blue sky. Everything feels slow. Everything feels calm. While the hide dries, there is nothing to rush. So the children begin making their own entertainment. The older boy gathers several smooth stones. He carefully stacks them one on top of another. The younger girl searches for tiny sticks. Soon she builds a miniature little house beneath a nearby tree. The little wolf pup watches both projects with great curiosity. It cannot decide which one looks more interesting. Finally, it notices the drying hide gently moving in the breeze. Its ears stand straight up. Its eyes grow wide. The hide sways left. The wolf pup steps left. The hide sways right. The wolf pup steps right. Then, a stronger breeze blows through the meadow. The hide flutters. Flap, flap, flap. The little wolf pup decides. Whatever that mysterious moving thing is, it must be caught. It crouches low. Its tail wiggles with excitement. Then, boing, it leaps into the air. The hide drifts gently away with the breeze. The pup lands safely in a patch of soft grass. The children burst into quiet laughter. Undeterred, the little wolf pup tries again. And again. Each time, the gentle wind wins. The father smiles warmly. Some things dance better than we do. Eventually, the little pup gives up. It rolls onto its back beneath the drying hide, watching it sway peacefully above. Perhaps watching is just as enjoyable as chasing. The afternoon sun slowly continues across the sky. The hide grows drier with every passing hour. The father gently touches its surface. It will soon be ready. The family smiles with quiet satisfaction. Another important job, completed with patience, completed together, just as their ancestors had done for countless generations before them. The afternoon sun slowly begins its journey toward the western hills. The deer hide is now dry, soft, flexible, and ready for one of the most careful parts of the entire process. The mother gently carries the hide back inside the cozy cave. The warm fire glows quietly nearby. Outside, a cool breeze whispers through the trees. Inside, everything feels peaceful. The father opens a small leather pouch. From inside, he carefully removes several precious tools. Tiny bone needles. Each one has been carved by hand from the smooth leg bone of a deer. They are surprisingly thin, surprisingly strong, and each has a tiny hole carefully shaped near one end. The older boy picks one up very gently. It's so small. The father smiles. It took many days to make. The mother unwraps a bundle of long, pale strands. This is sinew, she explained softly. It comes from strong cords inside an animal. She gently twists several strands together. Little by little, they become a sturdy thread. Long before people spun cotton, or wool, or silk, families stitched their clothing using what nature provided. The mother slowly threads a sinew through the tiny hole in the bone needle. Her hands move with calm confidence. The children watch every movement. One careful stitch, then another. The edges of the soft hide slowly begin to join together. The father explains that every stitch should be neat. Every stitch should be strong, because warm clothing must last through many long winters. Soon, the older boy is allowed to try. His first stitch is a little crooked. The second is much straighter. By the third, he smiles proudly. I think I'm getting better. You certainly are, the mother replies warmly. The younger girl practices on 2 small pieces of soft leather. Her stitches wander in tiny zigzags, but every one is made with great care. Nearby, the little wolf pup notices something extremely interesting. The long piece of sinew hanging from the mother's needle. It gently sways back and forth. Back and forth. The little pup's eyes become very wide. It crouches low. Its tail wiggles. Very slowly, it reaches out with one tiny paw. Tap. The thread swings away. The pup blinks. Then tries again. Tap. Swing. Tap. Swing. The children giggle quietly. The mother laughs softly. I think someone believes he's helping us sew. The father smiles. He's making sure the thread stays lively. The The wolf pup proudly chases the dangling thread in tiny circles. Always careful, never pulling too hard. Eventually, the mother finishes another row of beautiful stitches. She gently holds up the finished piece. The sunlight shining through the cave entrance catches the soft fur. The seams are smooth, strong, and beautifully made. The father nods with quiet admiration. Good clothing keeps a family warm, but making it together keeps a family close. The children smile. The little wolf pup curls beside the finished hide, resting its tiny head upon the soft fur. It sighs happily. Perhaps it has finally discovered the coziest blanket in the entire Stone Age. Several peaceful days have passed. The gentle summer breeze still moves through the valley, but inside the cave, something very special is finally ready. The family's new winter clothing. The mother carefully unfolds each finished garment. A warm fur cloak for the father, a soft vest for the older boy, a cozy little coat for the younger girl, and a pair of wonderfully warm fur boots. Every stitch tells a story of patient hands. Every seam reminds a family of the many peaceful hours they spent working together. The father smiles proudly. I think it's time. The older boy slips on his new fur vest. It fits perfectly. He stretches his arms, twists from side to side. The soft leather moves comfortably with every step. It feels warm already, he says with a grin. The younger girl excitedly tries on her little fur coat. The hood gently rests around her face. She spins slowly in a circle. The soft fur sways with every turn. The mother smiles. You look ready for winter. The little girl laughs. I hope winter waits a little longer. Everyone chuckles softly. Outside, the valley is still filled with sunshine. There is no snow today. Only birds singing happily beneath the bright blue sky. The father carefully pulls on his own fur cloak. He remembers making one just like it many winters ago with his own parents. Some traditions never truly change. The mother gently adjusts the older boy's shoulder seam. One tiny stitch needs tightening. With a few careful movements, it is perfect once again. Nearby, the little wolf pup has been watching everything with growing curiosity. It notices the younger girl's fur hood resting beside her for just a moment. Without making a sound, it quietly climbs inside. Only its tiny nose, two curious eyes, and one floppy ear remain visible. The younger girl turns around. Where did he go? The older boy points toward the little bundle of fur. I think winter found him first. The children burst into quiet laughter. The father gently lifts the hood. The little wolf pup peeks out sleepily. It yawns, then curls into an even tighter little ball. Apparently, it has discovered the warmest hiding place in the cave. The mother laughs softly. I believe we've made one extra winter bed. The fire crackles gently nearby. Warm orange light fills the cave. Outside, the evening sun slowly begins to sink beyond the distant mountains. The family gathers together near the entrance. For just a moment, they imagine the valley covered in soft white snow. They imagine warm boots crunching across the frozen ground, warm cloaks protecting them from the icy wind, and the cozy cave waiting at the end of every winter day. The father quietly looks around at his family. These clothes are more than simple garments. They are patience. They are skill. They are love carefully stitched together, one tiny thread at a time. As the first evening stars begin appearing above the valley, the little wolf pup remains peacefully asleep inside the fluffy hood. No one wishes to disturb it. Sometimes, the warmest place in the world is simply wherever your family happens to be. And with that comforting thought, another peaceful Stone Age day gently comes to an end. Another peaceful day settles over the ancient valley. The morning chores are finished. The baskets have been put away. The fire burns quietly in the center of the cave. Today, no one is gathering berries. No one is preparing hides. No one is searching for animal tracks. Today is a day for stories. Long before books, long before paper, and thousands of years before anyone learned to write, families remembered their history in another way. They painted it. The father slowly walks toward the deepest part of the cave. His footsteps echo softly against the smooth stone walls. The children follow close behind. The little wolf pup trots happily after them. The deeper they walk, the cooler the air becomes. Small rays of sunlight still reach inside the entrance, but farther in, only the warm glow of the campfire lights the walls. The father raises a small burning torch. Its gentle flame dances across the stone. Suddenly, pictures begin to appear. Large deer, running horses, shaggy bison, tiny handprints, curving lines, simple symbols. The younger girl gasps softly. They're everywhere. The father smiles. These paintings have been here for many seasons. Some were made by your grandparents. Some by people they never even met. The older boy slowly reaches out. He almost touches one of the painted animals. Then he gently pulls his hand back. The father nods with approval. Paintings should be admired, not disturbed. The mother quietly joins them. She gently wipes a little dust from one section of the wall. A beautiful red deer appears beneath the soft layer of dust. Its graceful shape seems almost alive in the flickering firelight. The little wolf pup notices the painted deer. Its ears perk up. Its tail begins wagging. Very slowly, it walks toward the wall. It sniffs the painted deer, then looks behind the rock. Nothing. It walks to the other side. Still nothing. The children begin giggling. I think he believes the deer is hiding. The father laughs softly. He may be the first wolf to hunt a painting. The little pup looks thoroughly confused. It sits down, tilts its head, and stares at the painted deer for a very long time. Perhaps it is trying to solve one of history's oldest mysteries. Why do pictures look so real, yet never move? The father gently places another piece of wood onto the fire. The warm orange light flickers across every painting. For just a moment, the animals seem to dance across the stone walls, not because they are alive, but because the moving firelight creates gentle shadows. The children watch with wide eyes. The cave feels magical, not because of magic itself, but because imagination has always lived wherever stories are told. The father smiles quietly. Every picture remembers something. A successful journey, a happy family, a changing season, or simply a day worth remembering. The family sits together beneath the ancient paintings, listening to the quiet crackle of the fire, watching the gentle shadows move across the stone. Long before people filled libraries with books, entire histories were written upon the silent walls of caves. The morning quietly continues inside the peaceful cave. The family has admired the ancient paintings. Now, it is time to discover how those beautiful colors were made. The mother places several small stone bowls onto the cave floor. Each bowl holds something different. One contains bright red earth. Another holds soft white clay. A third is filled with fine black charcoal from last night's fire. The younger girl looks at the colorful powders with amazement. They look like tiny pieces of the rainbow. The mother smiles warmly. The earth gives us many colors, if we know where to look. The father picks up a smooth red stone. This red color comes from a special rock called ochre. He gently rubs it against a flat, grinding stone. Slowly, tiny grains of rich red powder begin to gather. The older boy watches carefully. He takes another piece of ochre and begins grinding it too, round and round, slowly, patiently. Soon, a small pile of soft red powder rests on the stone. Nearby, the mother crushes a piece of charcoal into a fine black dust. The younger girl gently presses white clay between two smooth stones. Each color has its own quiet story. Red from the earth, black from the fire, white from the clay beneath their feet. The father pours a few drops of clean stream water into one of the bowls. The mother adds a little animal fat collected from an earlier meal. She slowly stirs a mixture with a small wooden stick. Little by little, the powder becomes thick, smooth paint. The children watch with wide eyes. It doesn't look like dirt anymore, the older boy whispers. The father nods. Sometimes, the simplest things become the most beautiful. Nearby, the little wolf pup has been watching everything very closely. Its curious nose twitches. The bright red paint looks fascinating. Very slowly, the pup leans closer. Closer, closer, tap, Its tiny nose gently touches the bowl. When it lifts its head, a perfect little red sits right on the end of its nose. The pup blinks, crosses its eyes trying to see it. The children burst into gentle laughter. The wolf pup looks wonderfully confused. It licks its nose. The little red spot remains. The mother smiles. I think we have our first painted helper. The father laughs softly. He wears the color very well. The younger girl carefully dips one finger into the red paint. She gently places a tiny dot onto a smooth stone. The older boy paints a simple curved line. The mother nods proudly. Every artist begins with one small mark. The fire crackles softly nearby. The bowls of natural paint glow warmly in the orange light. Outside, a gentle breeze carries the scent of pine through the cave entrance. Inside, the family quietly creates colors, just as countless Stone Age families had done thousands of years before written history began. Sometimes, the greatest works of art begin with nothing more than earth, water, and a little imagination. As the afternoon slowly melts into evening, the cave grows quieter. Outside, the last rays of golden sunlight gently slip behind the distant mountains. One by one, the birds finish their evening songs. A cool breeze whispers through the valley. Inside the cave, the warm campfire glows brighter than ever. Its gentle flames dance across the ancient stone walls. The colorful paintings seem almost alive beneath the flickering light. The family gathers together around the fire. The father places another small piece of dry wood onto the glowing embers. The fire crackles softly. Tiny sparks drift upward before disappearing into the darkness above. The younger girl wraps herself in her soft fur blanket. The older boy sits beside his father. The little wolf pup curls into a tiny fluffy ball near the warmth of the fire. Its sleepy eyes blink slowly. The father looks toward one of the oldest paintings on the cave wall. It shows several people walking beside a great herd of deer. The paint has faded over many generations. Yet the story still remains. The children follow his gaze. Who painted that? The older boy quietly asks. The father smiles. No one remembers their name. But someone loved their family enough to leave this story behind. The cave becomes wonderfully quiet. The only sounds are the crackling fire and the gentle wind outside. The father begins speaking softly. Many, many seasons ago, a family gathered around fire, very much like this one. They watched the same stars. They listened to the same birds. They walked through these same forests. They laughed together. They worked together. And before they went to sleep, they painted their happiest memories upon these walls. The younger girl gazes at the ancient pictures. It feels like they're still here. In a way, the father replies, they are, as long as someone remembers their story. They are never completely gone. The older boy studies the painted deer carefully. For a moment, he imagines the ancient artist dipping a finger into red paint, carefully drawing every graceful line. Perhaps a child sat beside them, watching with the very same curiosity. Nearby, the little wolf pup slowly lifts its head. The dancing shadows on the cave wall catch its attention. One shadow stretches tall. Another becomes short. The little pup gently reaches out one tiny paw, trying to touch the moving shapes. The shadows quietly slip away. The children smile. It thinks the shadows are playing. The mother laughs softly. Perhaps they are. The fire continues glowing warmly. The cave feels peaceful, safe, timeless. Outside, the first stars quietly appear above the ancient valley. The father lowers his voice even more. Stories are like campfires. They keep us warm. They bring families together. And when one story is shared, it lights another. The little wolf pup lets out one tiny sleepy yawn. Its eyes slowly close. Within moments, its gentle breathing fills the quiet cave. The children lean against their parents, listening to the soft rhythm of the fire, listening to a story that has traveled across thousands of years. A story without paper, without books, without writing, carried only by voices, memories, and love. As the fire glows gently beneath the painted walls, the cave becomes filled with something even warmer than light. It becomes filled with family. As the evening grows darker, the stars quietly fill the ancient sky. Inside the cave, the fire continues to glow with a warm, comforting light. The family has finished telling stories. Now, it is time for something just as old. Music, long before radios, long before pianos, long before anyone had ever heard a violin. Stone Age families created simple melodies using the natural materials around them. The father reaches for a carefully carved bone flute. It is smooth from many years of gentle use. Tiny finger holes run along its length. He lifts it slowly to his lips. A soft note floats through the cave. Gentle, clear, peaceful. The sound echoes softly against the stone walls. The children smile. The melody is slow, simple, easy to remember. The mother reaches for a small drum. Its round wooden frame is covered with tightly stretched animal hide. She taps it gently with her fingertips. Boom, boom, boom. Not loud, not fast, just a slow, steady rhythm, like a calm heartbeat. The older boy quietly joins in. He claps his hands softly. Once, then twice, keeping perfect time with the drum. The younger girl smiles happily. She finds two smooth river stones. Very gently, she taps them together. Click, click, click. Soon, the whole cave is filled with peaceful sounds. The soft song of the flute, the gentle heartbeat of the drum, the quiet rhythm of the stones, the cheerful clapping of little hands. Even the crackling fire seems to join the music. Nearby, the little wolf pup sits with its ears standing tall. It listens very carefully. Its head tilts to one side, then to the other. It has never heard such wonderful sounds all at once. As the father plays another gentle melody, the little wolf pup lifts its tiny nose toward the cave ceiling. For one very quiet moment, everything becomes still. Then, a woo, a tiny, high-pitched, sleepy little howl fills the cave. The music stops. Everyone looks at the little wolf pup. The pup blinks innocently. Its tail begins wagging. The younger girl giggles. I think he wants to sing with us. The father laughs softly. I believe he has joined the choir. The mother smiles warmly. Every family needs one good singer. The little wolf pup seems very pleased with itself. The father begins playing once more. This time, the little wolf pup listens quietly. Its eyes slowly grow heavier. The soft melody wraps around the cave like a warm blanket. The steady drumbeat feels almost like breathing. The children lean gently against their parents. No one rushes. No one speaks. There is only music, firelight, and the peaceful company of family. Outside, the moon slowly rises above the silent valley. Its silver light touches the tops of the ancient pine trees. Inside, the gentle song comes to a quiet end. The final note lingers in the air before softly fading away. For thousands of years, music has helped people celebrate, remember, and simply enjoy being together. Perhaps that is why even the oldest melodies still feel like home. The music has faded into the quiet evening. The last gentle note still seems to linger within the cave. The family sits peacefully beside the glowing fire. Then the father stands. He smiles at the children. Tonight, it is your turn to tell a story. The older boy looks surprised. Our story. The father nods. Every family adds something. The cave remembers us all. The mother brings forward the small stone bowls filled with natural paint. Red ochre, white clay, black charcoal. She places them carefully beside a smooth section of the cave wall. The younger girl gazes at the empty stone. It looks lonely. The mother smiles warmly. Not for long. The father hands the older boy a small paintbrush made from soft grass stems tied together with thin plant fibers. The boy dips it carefully into the red paint. He thinks for a long moment. Then, with one slow, careful movement, he paints the outline of a graceful deer. It is not perfect. One leg is a little longer than the others. The ears are slightly uneven. But the father smiles proudly. I know exactly what it is. The older boy beams. The younger girl dips one tiny finger into the white clay. Very gently, she paints a bright little moon above her brother's deer. Then she adds 3 tiny stars. 1, 2, 3. They'll help the deer find its way at night, she whispers. The mother nods. That is a beautiful idea. Next, the father paints a simple line beneath the deer. This is the river. The mother adds several tiny flowers beside it. Soon, one picture becomes many. A peaceful valley, a flowing stream, a family of deer, birds flying above. The painting slowly grows into a memory, not of one moment, but of many happy days together. Nearby, the little wolf pup has been watching very carefully. Its curious eyes move from one painter to another. Then, it notices a tiny drop of red paint resting on a flat stone. The little pup steps closer. Without realizing it, one tiny paw gently lands in the paint. Tap! The paw is now bright red. The pup happily trots across the cave floor. Step, 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 until, plop, one perfect little paw print appears at the very bottom corner of the family's new painting. The wolf pup freezes. The children stare. Then, everyone bursts into soft laughter. The little pup quickly looks behind itself, as if searching for whoever made the mysterious footprint. The father kneels beside the wall. He smiles at the tiny red paw print. I think every great artist signs their work. The mother laughs, and I believe our little helper has done exactly that. The younger girl carefully places her tiny hand beside the little paw print, not touching it, just smiling at the difference. Now everyone will know we painted this together. The father quietly nods. Many seasons from now, someone may see these pictures. They may never know our names, but they will know a family once laughed here. The fire glows softly against the fresh paint. The little red paw print shines warmly in the flickering light. Perhaps, long after the voices are gone, long after the footsteps have faded, that tiny little paw print will still be smiling from the cave wall. The evening has grown wonderfully quiet. Outside, the ancient valley rests beneath a blanket of countless stars. The cool night breeze gently moves through the pine trees. An owl calls softly in the distance. Inside the cave, the glowing campfire has become a bed of warm orange embers. Its gentle light flickers across the painted walls. The deer, the horses, the handprints, and the tiny red paw print all seem to glow peacefully in the quiet darkness. The family finishes preparing for sleep. The father carefully places another small log beside the fading fire, not to make it brighter, only to keep it warm through the night. The mother gently folds the family's fur blankets. The older boy stretches with a quiet yawn. The younger girl hugs her favorite little fur blanket tightly. Nearby, the little wolf pup is already half asleep. It slowly circles its favorite sleeping place. Once, twice, 3 times. Then, with a tiny sigh, it curls into the softest little ball imaginable. The children smile. It always spins 3 times. The father nods. I wonder if wolves have always done that. Perhaps they have. The family lies down together beneath the beautiful cave ceiling. The flickering firelight reaches the paintings above them. The moving light makes the painted animals appear almost alive. The younger girl watches a red deer. It looks like it's walking. The father smiles gently. Firelight has always been a wonderful storyteller. The older boy gazes upward. Soon, his eyes begin to feel heavy. The steady crackle of the fire, the gentle whisper of the wind, the quiet breathing of his family, everything becomes wonderfully peaceful. As sleep slowly arrives, the children begin to dream. In their dreams, the painted deer quietly step down from the cave wall, not with noise, not with fear, only with peaceful curiosity. The painted horses walk gracefully beneath a sky filled with shimmering stars. Gentle bison wander through fields of silver moonlight. Bright birds glide silently overhead. The tiny painted handprints seem to wave kindly from the cave walls. Even the little red paw print joins the adventure. The tiny wolf paw happily trots beside the painted deer, leaving cheerful little footprints across the dream. The little wolf pup, lets out one tiny sleepy twitch. Perhaps it is dreaming the very same dream. Outside, the moon slowly crosses the ancient sky. Inside, the fire becomes smaller. The glowing embers quietly pulse like a slow, peaceful heartbeat. The father opens his eyes for just a moment. He looks around at his sleeping family, at the ancient paintings, at the warm fire, at the peaceful little wolf pup. Then he smiles, without speaking a single word. Some treasures cannot be carried. Some stories cannot be held. Yet both remain with us for a lifetime, long before cities, long before kingdoms, long before history was ever written. Families gathered around warm fires, shared quiet stories, created beautiful art, laughed together, dreamed together, and loved one another beneath the same endless sky. The stars continue shining above the peaceful valley. The cave grows wonderfully still. The embers glow softly, then softer still. And as another gentle stone aged day quietly slips into history, the ancient world falls peacefully asleep. The long winter has finally come to an end. Far beyond the cave, the first warm breeze of spring quietly travels across the ancient valley. For many peaceful weeks, snow covered the hills. Ice rested upon the quiet stream. The trees stood patiently beneath their blankets of white. But now, something has changed. Tiny drops of melting snow gently fall from the branches. Drip, drip, drip. The sound echoes softly through the peaceful forest. The morning sun shines a little higher in the sky. Its warmth slowly awakens the sleeping earth. Outside the cave, the father steps into the cool spring air. He breathes deeply. The fresh scent of damp soil fills his lungs. He smiles. Spring has returned. Behind him, the children hurry outside. The younger girl notices the very first tiny flower growing beside a rock. Its bright yellow petals shine like little pieces of sunshine. She kneels carefully beside it. It stayed all winter. The mother smiles gently. It was waiting. Nearby, the older boy watches small streams of melted snow flowing downhill. Water rushes happily over smooth stones. The valley is beginning to wake. Birds return one by one. A robin lands on a nearby branch. Its cheerful song fills the quiet morning. Soon another bird answers from deeper in the forest. The trees feel alive once again. The little wolf pup races excitedly across the soft grass. Winter has left behind countless wonderful smells. Every rock, every bush, every tree trunk seems worthy of careful investigation. The pup sniffs everything. It pauses beside a patch of melting snow. Very gently, it places one tiny paw on the icy surface. Cold, very cold. The pup quickly lifts its paw, then looks at the snow with complete surprise. The older boy laughs softly. I don't think it expected that. The father chuckles. Spring still remembers winter. The wolf pup cautiously reaches out once more. This time, it gives the snow one careful sniff, then decides. The warm grass is much more comfortable. It happily rolls onto its back among the fresh green meadow. Butterflies drift through the gentle breeze. Busy bees visit the season's first blossoms. High above, white clouds float lazily across the endless blue sky. The mother points toward the nearby trees. Tiny green buds have begun appearing on every branch. Before long, the forest will become green again. The children look around with quiet wonder. Only yesterday, everything seemed asleep. Today, the whole valley feels full of new beginnings. The father bends down beside the stream. He cups cool water in his hands. Crystal clear, fresh from the melting snow high in the mountains. He smiles peacefully. Every spring reminds us that even after the longest winter, life always finds its way back. The family quietly stands together beneath the warm morning sun, watching the ancient valley awaken, one flower, one bird, one gentle breeze at a time. Many peaceful weeks pass. The cool days of spring slowly give way to the warmth of summer. The valley has changed once again. The trees now wear thick green leaves. Wildflowers cover the meadows like a colorful blanket. The stream flows gently beneath the bright blue sky. Everything seems wonderfully alive. The cave family begins one of the busiest seasons of the year, not because life has become hurried, but because nature has become generous. The father shoulders a woven basket. The mother carries another across her back. The children eagerly follow. Today, they are gathering the gifts of summer. The older boy carefully picks clusters of ripe blueberries growing beneath the forest trees. He places each berry gently into his basket. The younger girl gathers sweet wild strawberries. Their bright red color shines against the green grass. Every now and then, she quietly eats one. Then another. The mother notices. She smiles. I wondered why your basket stayed so empty. The little girl giggles. I'm checking if they're sweet enough. I think they all need testing. The father laughs softly. A very important job. Nearby, the mother carefully gathers fragrant herbs, wild mint, chamomile flowers, and tender green leaves that will be dried beside the fire for the colder months ahead. The father kneels beneath a towering oak tree. Tiny acorns are beginning to grow. Not ready yet, but they soon will be. Every season has its own schedule. Every plant knows exactly when it is time. The older boy notices something moving in the tall grass. A tiny young rabbit hops carefully after his mother. Not far away, a family of young deer quietly grazes in the sunshine. They've grown so much, he whispers. The father smiles. So have we. Nearby, the little wolf pup has grown as well. Its legs are a little longer now. Its fluffy paws seem almost too large for the rest of its body. It races happily through the meadow, chasing butterflies, leaping over fallen logs, rolling through soft patches of clover. Suddenly, the pup discovers a wonderfully large leaf drifting down from a nearby tree. It lands directly on its nose. The little wolf freezes, crossing its eyes, trying very hard to understand where the strange green thing came from. The breeze gently lifts the leaf away. The pup immediately begins chasing it across the meadow. Left, right, around a bush, through a patch of flowers. The children laugh softly. I think the leaf is winning. The father chuckles. The wind usually does. As the afternoon passes, the family slowly fills their baskets. Blueberries, strawberries, wild herbs, tender roots. Everything is gathered carefully. Nothing is wasted. The father quietly reminds the children, we never take every berry. We always leave enough for the birds, the rabbits, and for new plants to grow next year. The older boy nods. The younger girl gently places a handful of berries back onto one bush, so everyone gets a turn. The mother smiles proudly. Exactly. The warm summer sun slowly begins sinking toward the western hills. Golden light spreads across the valley. The baskets are comfortably full. The family's hearts feel full as well. Together, they begin the peaceful walk home. The little wolf pup proudly trots in front, carrying one enormous leaf in its mouth, as if it has gathered the greatest treasure of all. Perhaps, in its own wonderful way, it truly has. The valley grows quiet once again. Another beautiful summer day has gently become another beautiful memory. As another peaceful season slowly comes to an end, the warm days of summer gently begin to fade. Each morning, the air feels a little cooler. The breeze carries the fresh scent of fallen leaves. Across the ancient valley, the forest quietly changes its colors. Bright green leaves slowly become golden yellow, deep orange, warm red. The hills seem covered by a beautiful patchwork blanket made by nature itself. The father looks toward the colorful trees. It is time. The children understand immediately. Winter is still far away, but wise families always prepare early. The cave family sets out together beneath the golden autumn sky. The older boy carries a woven basket across his shoulder. Today, he gathers hazelnuts that have fallen beneath the trees. One by one, he carefully places them into the basket. The younger girl collects acorns. Some will become food after careful preparation. Others will remain in the forest. The father smiles. The squirrels need their share too. The little girl nods. She gently leaves several acorns beneath the old oak tree. For our tiny neighbors, the mother gathers the last fragrant herbs of the season. Wild thyme, sage, and sweet mint. She ties each bundle together with thin strips of plant fiber. Soon they will hang above the warm fire inside the cave, drying slowly through the long winter months. Nearby, the father chops small fallen branches into neat bundles of firewood, only branches already resting on the forest floor. The ancient trees continue standing peacefully. The older boy helps stack the wood carefully. Every bundle will bring warmth on a cold winter evening. As the afternoon breeze gently moves through the valley, golden leaves begin drifting down from the tall trees. One, then another. Soon, hundreds of leaves float softly through the air. The little wolf pup looks upward in complete amazement. The leaves seem to be falling from the sky itself. One lands gently upon its back. Another touches its nose. A third lands beside its tiny paws. The pup wiggles with excitement. Without warning, it leaps straight into the biggest pile of leaves it can find. Whoosh! Golden leaves fly everywhere. The children burst into quiet laughter. The little wolf disappears completely beneath the colorful pile. For one peaceful moment, there's only silence. Then, two tiny ears pop up, followed by one curious nose. Then, the entire fluffy little wolf bounces happily back out again. The younger girl laughs. I think autumn has swallowed him. The father smiles warmly and happily gave him back. The little wolf pup cannot resist. Again and again, it jumps into the crunchy leaves. Each leap sends colorful leaves dancing into the cool afternoon air. Nearby, a gentle breeze carries several leaves high above the meadow. The older boy watches them drift. They look like little birds. The mother nods. The forest is saying goodbye to summer. As the sun slowly lowers toward the western hills, the family's baskets grow full. Hazelnuts, herbs, firewood, everything needed for the coming season. The father looks around the peaceful valley one more time. Nature has given generously once again. Now, it is time to give something back. Respect, gratitude, and careful stewardship. Together, the family begins their quiet walk home. The little wolf pup proudly carries one bright golden leaf in its mouth. Not because it is useful, simply because it is beautiful. Sometimes, that is reason enough. One peaceful morning, the cave feels unusually quiet. The fire still glows softly. The family remains wrapped beneath their warm fur blankets. Outside, the valley is holding its breath. The father is the first awake. He quietly walks toward the cave entrance. A cool breeze greets him. Then, he smiles. Without saying a word, he simply looks toward the sky. Tiny white snowflakes drift gently through the air, one after another. Slowly, silently, the first snowfall of the season has arrived. The father turns back toward the family. Come and see. The children rub the sleep from their eyes. The younger girl hurries outside first. She suddenly stops. Her eyes grow wide with wonder. Everything has changed. The green meadow has disappeared. The colorful autumn leaves are hidden. The familiar valley now wears a soft blanket of sparkling white snow. The trees stand quietly beneath delicate white branches. The stream still flows gently, but thin sheets of ice have begun forming along its edges. The older boy quietly whispers, "It looks like a dream." The mother smiles. Winter has painted the valley. Snowflakes continue drifting gently from the gray morning sky. One lands softly on the younger girl's mitten. She watches it carefully. For a brief moment, its tiny crystal-shaped sparkles in the morning light. Then, it quietly melts away. Nearby, the little wolf pup steps cautiously outside. It pauses. The cold snow feels wonderfully different beneath its paws. Soft, cold, fluffy. The little pup looks down, then takes another careful step. Tiny paw prints appear behind it. 1, 2, 3. The children smile. Look, it's leaving little tracks. The father kneels beside the tiny footprints. Someday, someone may follow these. The little wolf pup suddenly notices something floating through the air. A single snowflake. It drifts gently downward. The pup watches closely. Its head follows every tiny movement. The snowflake floats lower, 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 just before it lands. The little wolf sticks out its tongue. Plop, the snowflake disappears. The pup blinks. It looks around in complete surprise. Where did it go? Another snowflake falls. Again, the pup reaches up. Plop, gone. Soon, it begins hopping happily through the falling snow, trying to catch every snowflake. Sometimes it catches one. Sometimes the wind carries it away. Either way, the game seems endless. The younger girl laughs quietly. I think winter is feeding him tiny clouds. The father chuckles. Perhaps it is. As the morning continues, the snowfall grows a little heavier. Not enough to cover the world completely, just enough to make everything feel peaceful. The family walks slowly through the fresh snow together. Their footprints stretch gently across the quiet valley. Large footprints, small footprints, and tiny little wolf prints weaving happily between them. No one rushes. There is nowhere else to be, only here. Together, the father looks toward the distant mountains. Their snowy peaks now blend almost perfectly with the white valley below. The world rests in winter, he says softly, so that spring may bloom again. The children stand quietly beside him, watching snowflakes drift through the silent air, listening to nothing and somehow hearing everything. The peaceful hush of the first snowfall wraps around the ancient valley, like the softest blanket nature has ever made. Many peaceful days pass beneath the quiet blanket of winter. Outside, the ancient valley rests beneath deep snow. The tall pine trees stand silently. Their branches gently bow beneath soft white layers. The stream still flows, but only a narrow ribbon of water remains visible between sheets of crystal ice. Inside the cave, everything feels wonderfully warm. The glowing fire crackles gently from morning until night. Its soft orange light dances across the familiar paintings on the cave walls. The family spends more time indoors now. Winter is not a season of rushing. It is a season of slowing down. The father sits near the fire. A smooth stone rests upon his lap. With slow, careful movements, he sharpens the edge of a stone knife. Scrape, pause, scrape. Each quiet movement fills the cave with a gentle rhythm. Nearby, the mother carefully repairs a warm fur blanket. Her tiny bone needle moves patiently through the soft hide. One careful stitch, then another, strong enough to last another winter. The older boy weaves thin strips of plant fiber into a sturdy basket. His fingers move more confidently now than they did only a few seasons ago. The younger girl sorts dried berries into little woven bowls. Blueberries, strawberries, hazelnuts, everything gathered during summer and autumn now provides comfort during winter. The father smiles. This is why we prepared. The children nod quietly. Now they understand. Every basket they filled, every herb they dried, every piece of firewood they carried has become a gift to their future selves. Outside, snowflakes continue drifting softly from the gray sky. The world beyond the cave seems wonderfully still. Nearby, the little wolf pup has changed as well. Its winter fur has grown thicker, fluffier, softer than ever before. It looks almost twice as round as it did in summer. The younger girl gently hugs the fluffy little wolf. You become a walking blanket. The father laughs softly. I think winter has knitted him a new coat. The little wolf pup stretches happily, then begins searching for the warmest place in the cave. It tries sleeping beside the fire. Too warm. It moves closer to the cave entrance. Too cold. It curls beside the father. Comfortable. Then beside the mother. Also comfortable. Finally, it squeezes itself between the two children beneath their shared fur blanket. The children giggle quietly. The little wolf sighs. Its eyes slowly close. Apparently, the warmest place in the entire Stone Age is between two sleepy children. Outside, the wind gently whispers across the snowy valley. Inside, the family enjoys a simple evening meal. Warm roasted roots, dried berries, a handful of hazelnuts, and fresh water warm beside the fire. No feast, no celebration, just quiet gratitude. After supper, the father begins telling another gentle story. Not about great adventures, not about dangerous hunts, but about the tiny robin that always returned to the same tree every spring. The younger girl smiles sleepily. I hope it comes back. The father nods. So do I. The older boy watches the glowing fire. The flickering flames remind him of warm summer sunsets. Winter suddenly feels much shorter. The mother gently places another small log onto the embers. It won't be long now. Spring is already on its way. The cave grows wonderfully quiet. Only the soft crackle of the fire remains. The little wolf pup lets out one tiny sleepy yawn, then nestles even deeper beneath the warm blanket. Outside, snow continues falling across the ancient valley. Inside, love, warmth, patience, and family quietly carry another peaceful winter night toward tomorrow. The longest nights of winter have quietly passed. Day by day, the morning sun has climbed a little higher into the sky. Outside the cave, the snow no longer covers every corner of the valley. Small patches of green grass have begun peeking through the melting white blanket. Tiny streams carry fresh mountain water toward the river below. Drop by drop, the frozen world awakens once again. The father quietly steps outside just before sunrise. The morning air is cool, fresh, full of promise. He stands silently for a moment, watching the eastern horizon slowly brighten. Soon, the rest of the family joins him, wrapped in their warm fur clothing. The older boy yawns gently. The younger girl rubs her sleepy eyes. The mother smiles as she looks across the peaceful valley. Everything feels familiar, yet, somehow, everything feels brand new. The little wolf pup bounces happily into the fresh morning air. It has grown so much during the passing seasons. Its legs are stronger, its movements more graceful, yet its curious heart remains exactly the same. A tiny puddle rests beside the cave. The snow around it has melted. The little wolf carefully looks into the clear water. A fluffy little wolf looks back. It tilts its head. The reflection does the same. The children laugh softly. I think he remembers that funny face. The father smiles. Some mysteries are worth visiting twice. The little wolf gently taps the water with one paw. Ripples spread across the tiny puddle. The reflection disappears. Then, slowly, returns once again. Satisfied, the little wolf trots happily away. Nearby, the first robin of spring lands upon the very same old pine branch. Its cheerful song echoes across the valley. The younger girl smiles brightly. It came back. The father nods, just as we hoped. The older boy notices tiny green buds appearing once again on the trees. Only a few days ago, everything seemed asleep. Now, life quietly begins another chapter. The mother kneels beside the first little yellow flower of the new season. It looks almost identical to the one they admired a year ago. Yet, somehow, it feels even more special. She whispers softly, "Welcome back." The family gathers together on a grassy hill overlooking the valley. The rising sun slowly climbs above the distant mountains. Golden light spreads across the ancient landscape. The snowy peaks glow like polished gold. The stream sparkles below. Birds fill the morning air with cheerful songs. The father looks around at his family. 1 year has passed. The seasons have changed. The flowers bloomed. The berries ripened. The leaves fell. The snow arrived. And spring has returned once more. Yet the most important things never changed. Kindness, patience, gratitude, family. These are the traditions that survive every season. Long before calendars, people measured time by the songs of birds, the color of leaves, the warmth of the sun, and the return of spring. The little wolf pup suddenly notices a butterfly floating gently through the morning air. Without hesitation, it happily bounds after it across the fresh green meadow. The butterfly dances gracefully in the sunshine. The little wolf follows with joyful determination. Some things never change. The children laugh quietly. The father and mother smile at one another. Another year has begun. Another story is waiting. The ancient valley breathes peacefully beneath the endless sky. The warm sun continues rising. The gentle breeze carries the scent of new flowers. And somewhere in the distance, a cheerful little wolf continues chasing a butterfly, just as it always has. As our peaceful cave family walks slowly toward another beautiful day, their footprints fade gently into the soft spring grass. But their story, like the turning of the seasons, goes on forever,